Hello and welcome to the course. In this short mini course, this free course that you have instant access to, first I want to say welcome aboard and thank you for putting your trust into me. What we are going to do is we're going to just spend a little bit of time talking about web hosting, what it is, why it's important. We're also going to spend some time talking about domain names, what they are, and why that's important. I'm going to go over WordPress, very high level overview so that you're comfortable and familiar with it. We're going to talk a little bit about affiliate links. Most people that stop by this course are affiliate marketers. And so one of the biggest questions that I get is how many affiliate links should I include in a blog post? And I answer that question. The last bit of this video is an over-the-shoulder walkthrough of going from nothing to installing and getting a domain name, get web hosting, and actually configuring some settings over on WordPress. So make sure you watch all of these videos. Watch them a few times if you have any questions, but I just want to say real quick, welcome aboard and thank you. So the first step of blogging is to get a web host or a web hosting provider. And basically what a web host or a web hosting provider does is they allow you to buy or rent a space on their servers so that you can host your website. If you're thinking about it, it's kind of like you're renting a space or hard drive space on a computer. For example, the computer that I'm looking at right now it's all dedicated to just me. Let's say I wanted to rent out hard drive space to my cousin, I could do that, and then they would have their own little piece of my hard drive, and I would make some money. That's basically what web hosting is. You don't need to go through a web hosting provider, but that's the easiest, most efficient way. You could host your own web hosting. You could host your own servers, but usually that's not profitable for people unless you're getting tons of page views or you have like some not safe for work content that you want to upload to the internet. So the way that this is set up, and again, this is going to be really nerdy and I apologize in advance, is you buy a web hosting package and you rent the space out. There are different types of web hosting. There's VPS, there's shared, there's dedicated. If you're brand new, I recommend that you look for shared hosting. And basically what shared hosting means is you are sharing that hard drive, that server space with other websites. So other people are sharing that block of space. As you start getting more traffic or as you have a whole network of websites, you might want to look into something like VPS where you get your own server, your own hard drive. It's not really a hard drive per se. You get your own chunk and you're not sharing it with anyone. So you can have as many websites as you want on there. That's a little bit more secure. That's a little bit safer. But if you're just getting started and you're not even really sure about what you're doing and how to go about it, use shared hosting to start, and then you can migrate, you can move your websites as needed. That's what I did with my websites. I started off with Bluehost and then eventually I moved over to a VPS somewhere else. Now, again, if you're brand new, you're just getting started, pick one of the entry-level ones, Bluehost, HostGator. I'm going to leave a link to Bluehost. It is an affiliate link, but of course you don't have to use them. But if you're just getting started, you're brand new, you've never written a blog post, you've never held a website, you want to make sure that you're not spending a bunch of money. And the higher up the ladder you go, for example, shared hosting is going to be the least expensive, followed by VPS depending on who you go through, and then dedicated. Dedicated is where they basically do everything for you. They like manage the WordPress for you. They keep it up to date. They make sure it's secure. It's really hands-on, but it's also for websites that are getting hundreds of thousands of page views per month, or even per day, depending on how big your blog is. And so that's the importance of web hosting. You need to have it in order to have a website for the most part. I'm going to jump into Bluehost. Again, you can use HostGator or GoDaddy or whatever it is that you feel most comfortable with. I use and recommend Bluehost because it's really easy to get started. So what we would do is just hop on over to hosting, go down to shared hosting, and then as you can see, they have different packages, $3.95 per month all the way up to $13.95. If you are just getting started, start off with the basic, and then you can always graduate or upgrade to the other ones. The basic includes one website, 50 gigabyte SSD storage, you want to look for SSD. That's going to be faster. And speed is the name of the game when it comes to your websites. You want to make sure that people are getting to your website as fast as possible. If people aren't able to see content within milliseconds, they're going to click off and you're going to lose a customer. Custom themes, we'll talk about WordPress themes in a minute. 24/7 support, everybody has that. Free domain for 1 year. So a domain, and I think I talk about domain names and how to pick a domain in the next video, but let's talk about a domain. A domain is a human readable website name that we reference. For example, alstongodbolt.com is a domain name. Now, computers talk in numbers, and so my website is located at like 128.167.111.11.1, but we can't remember that. Humans don't and can't remember that. So we came up with domain names. When we type in alstongodbolt.com, that tells the computer that we want to go to that number that I just made up, and then that's how we get there. Most new websites will get free for 1 year, then it goes up to like $17.95 depending on the hosting provider. After that, CDM, this will actually help make your website faster. Most people are using Cloudflare, and basically what this does is it puts portions of your website all over the world. They have different, we'll call them nodes or different like mini servers where it makes it faster. It makes your website load faster. So alstongodbolt.com may be housed in Kenosha, but I have the front end of it loaded in Germany, in Japan, in China, and Russia, so that when someone in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, will say wants to navigate to alstongodbolt.com, it doesn't take a long time to load. A lot of the back-end stuff will take longer, but for the most part, it gets access really quickly. An SSL certificate is almost required these days. Basically, it lets the world know that it's secure. This is important if you're going to sell products from your website. It's also important if you want to rank organically in Google. Google considers SSL certificates as a ranking factor. Some of this other stuff isn't really necessary right now. It's important to know. So that is almost everything you need to know when it comes to web hosting. Also, that's not everything. One thing that I want to urge you to do, and one thing that web hosting providers will try and get you to do, is they'll try and get you to buy an email. As you can see, they offer Microsoft 365 or Google, but what you can do is you can go into what's called the cPanel and you can create your own email addresses. For example, alstongodbolt.com. Now, mail@alstongodbolt.com is an email address that I created in the cPanel or the back office of my website. So they're going to try and get you to pay $3.95 or whatever it is to create emails, but I can create unlimited emails on the back end. So don't necessarily do that. And I believe in the affiliate section, I talked about the importance of having kind of like a branded email. You don't want to send out through Hotmail because those can get rejected. But that's how you do it. And when I log in, I'll show you exactly how to create it. It's really easy. It's really simple. But I think that's everything that you need to know when it comes to web hosting. Like I said, I like use and recommend Bluehost because it's relatively easy. They make it kind of a pain when you want to leave, but for the most part, it's really user-friendly. All right, so now let's talk about the domain name. I have a few tips. There really are no hard and fast rules when it comes to domain names, with the exception of one or two that I'll mention. But just about anything can be a domain name, and let me show you how to find them. So I'm going to go to Domain Name Generator, and really you can type in the name of something that you're thinking of, and it'll tell you if it's available or not. So I'm going to click on this. It's instantdomainsearch.com, and I can type in something. We'll type in Alston Godbolt, and it should not be for sale. I got to spell my name right. Let's see, we'll put that there. And then as you can see, it is not for sale. You could potentially contact me. Let's see what it's appraised at. Now, a couple things that you want to consider when it comes to a domain name. You always want to use .com. You never want to use like .uk. You don't want to use like the country TLDs, I believe they're called, just because if people are searching for content on the internet and they come across like a .uk, they may assume that the .uk is it's only for the information on the website is only for people that live in the United Kingdom. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are appealing to everybody, that the information that you're creating is for everybody. So use .com, don't use .gov or .net or .org. Use .com when you can. And you should make your domain name general enough that it can be about a top level niche, like we've talked about many times. For example, like basketball is a top level niche. You want to make your content like about either basketball or sports, depending how large you want your website to be. If you're thinking about your website being 500 pages, 1,000 pages, then you're going to probably want to err on sports type of domain. But if you're thinking about your website's going to be like 200 pages or something like that, then you can niche down and talk about basketball. Some things that I would stay away from when coming up with a domain name is you want to make sure that it's not culturally relevant. For example, if you were growing up in the 90s and 2000s, we put a Z on everything. So we could say like, it would be like Alston, Godbolt, or like Swiss Beats is a good one. But if you're old like I am, we put a Z on everything. We put multiple Z's on everything. And that is going to be difficult because in like 5 years from now, it's not going to be relevant. People are going to be confused and they might shy away. So you don't want to be like too culturally relevant or trendy. You want to try and go with tried and true things. You also want to try and make sure that it's a name or something as short as possible. So like again, Alston Godbolt's my name, and I spelled my name wrong yet again. But you want to either try and make it as short as possible, and all of like the 3, 4, 5 word domain names are taken. For example, if I just type in that, someone has that. Because the shorter it is, the easier it is to remember. Oh, okay, so that could be possible if you are joea.com. But for the most part, all of these short ones are taken. MPMO could be a good one, but you'd have to contact them. So make sure they're complete names. Stay away from numbers, because people are going to ask, is it like 1, 2, is it Alston Godbolt 1, 2, 3, like the numbers, or is it Alston Godbolt 1, 2, 3 spelled out? So those are all things that you want to be aware of when you are thinking about your domain name. At the end of the day, the domain name doesn't really matter. Spend 15, 20 minutes on it and then move on to the next thing. Just because if your content is good and you're trying to get discovered organically, people are going to find you regardless of the domain name, as long as you're not trendy and being weird with it. So yeah, I think those are the tips that I have. Another thing that you can do is you can buy a domain name one place, but then you can have it pointing to somewhere else. So what you could do is you could go to a website like Namecheap and buy a domain name for 99 cents for the first year, but then have your web hosting on Bluehost or GoDaddy, and it would work out just fine. You can do that. Some companies will try and tell you not to do that just because they're losing out on money. The whole thing with the free domain name or the very cheap domain name is to get you locked in for the web hosting. For the most part, once you get locked in for web hosting, it's very difficult to leave. Not very difficult to leave. People are reluctant to leave because they have their website and they don't want to lose traffic and things of that nature. So that's why they'll offer the free domain, because once they get your hooks in, it's hard to get out. But I think that's all you really need to know when it comes to the domain name. You want to make it as short as possible or make it words. Do not use an underscore. I mean, because you could do like Alston, ALSTON. We're going to get my name right eventually. AlstonGodbolt.com. You could do that. I wouldn't, because people are going to get confused. Or AlstonGodbolt.com. I've seen that done before. I have yet to spell my name correctly on the first try today. So that's available. I would stay away from that because people are going to forget the hyphen. So yeah, yet again, there we go. AlstonGodbolt.com is available, but are you going to tell people Alston-Godbolt.com every time? Or are people going to remember it? So you want to make sure that you're staying away from that. You can't use any symbols, but you could do Alston Godbolt 123. Did I spell my name wrong again? AlstonGodbolt.com. If we type in 123, you can see that's available, but that's always a problem. You can't enter in any symbols. Like I said, you can't do that. That's not going to be recognized. And then you can just look at all of these different examples. TechAlstonGodbolt.com, unAlstonGodbolt.com, AlstonGodboltLife.com. These are all options as well. In fact, it doesn't look like they even give you the option to do .org or .net or anything like that. So that is, I think, everything that you need to know when it comes to a domain name. The one issue that I would probably run into if I ever wanted to sell my website is it says alstongodbolt.com. And so any domain authority that I build up could be lost because I have it as my name. That's something that you want to consider as well. Make sure that you think about, do I want it under my name, using my name as a brand, or do I want to use a brand name like, we'll say like affiliate marketing. Well, let's try and find one. Affiliate. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, one other thing that you want to absolutely stay away from is stay away from brand names and trademarks. For example, you would not want to do like AmazonReviews.com. Some people do that. But I would stay away from that, because if your website gets big enough, you could be sued by Amazon. They could take your website and they could take your money. So stay away from brand names. BMW reviews, stay away from that. So I typed in affiliate marketing, and it has some suggestions that could be open. Affiliate marketing app, CAF affiliate marketing, buy affiliate marketing, black affiliate marketing. That probably wouldn't be a great one, because people would think black hat. So there are some options on here. News affiliate marketing. We could say affiliate marketing, maybe world. So affiliatemarketingworld.com is taken. You could always try and ask for it, but I doubt that people are going to be willing to sell it for a reasonable price. You're better off just finding something free. Affiliate Marketing World, that could be a good one down here. But that's really everything that you need to know when it comes to domain name. All right, so the next step of your website is to install and use WordPress. Now, WordPress is used by almost half of all websites that are out in the world. And the reason why you want to use WordPress, you can use Wix or Squarespace or some of those other ones, but WordPress makes content management much, much easier. Basically, the way that it's set up is you have your web hosting and your domain name. On top of that sits WordPress, and WordPress is used to adjust the look and feel of your website, to add content easily. It really takes care of some of the back office stuff so that you don't have to become a web developer. You don't have to worry about like HTML and design. You just go out and find a theme that you like, and then you move on. And installing WordPress is super easy. If you're using something like Bluehost, there'll just be a button that says click here to install WordPress. You click that button and then you install it. And that usually takes about 20 minutes, but it's super simple. I certainly recommend it, because if you use something like Wix or Squarespace, you might be in for a little bit of hassle. From my personal experience now, I used to build websites for people and charge $300 a pop. I would have the most difficult time with Squarespace, because you'd have to go through and you'd have to configure each individual web page. You'd have to make changes on one and then remember and then make changes on them all. With WordPress, you can make a standard change to a blog post or a page, and it just takes care of everything. And again, in my opinion, it's just super easy to use. If you're an affiliate marketer or you're a blogger, the last thing that you really want to do, unless you really have an eye for design, is to spend a lot of time worrying about WordPress and trying to get it to look right and feel right. I have separate sections for WordPress themes and plugins. So why don't I just get into WordPress right now? This will be a longer video, but I'll cover just about everything. So WordPress at its foundation, WordPress consists of themes and plugins. A theme is how the website looks and feels. The plugins add additional functionality. There are places that you can go to get themes for free and paid themes. Now, personally, I like paid themes because usually a paid theme means that the developer is going to keep the information up to date. From time to time, there are major security issues, and if you're paying for a premium theme, usually that developer is going to spend a little bit of time making sure that it's up to date. Paid themes also usually come with a little bit more functionality. They'll include some plugins with the price, depending on the paid theme that you purchase. And in my opinion, they just look better. They spend more time. They usually come with templates, like there's something called like the bakery theme, which you can customize your homepage to make it look even better. So I'm on this website. It's called themeforce.net. And basically you can come here to find all sorts of WordPress themes. As you can see here, it says WordPress theme. You can buy a theme for as little as $10 or as high as like $150. Some WordPress companies or WordPress themes have an annual subscription. What you can do is you can just come over here and you can take a look and find one that is of interest to you. So I'm going to go up here and I'm under WordPress and I can just type in, let's say, blog, hit enter. And as you can see, there are all sorts of themes out there. They range in price from $29 up to $75, but they're really going to make your website, in my opinion, look better. You don't have to install them. The other cool thing with these themes is they usually come with templates. So if I click on, let's try this one. Let's see, if we go down here, as you can see, these are templates that you can just import. For example, if I go over to my website, alstongodbolt.com, it was a template that I just imported and I made a few changes. So as you can see, this was already done. I gotta fix my logo, it looks really bad. All of this was already done. I just went in and I changed and I added this get response form. I made a few changes here, but this was all themed and I just made very, very subtle changes. As you can see, some of this stuff is still here, which I need to fix. But the cool thing is it was all taken care of. It makes creating a WordPress website much easier. To install the theme, if I go back over here, on the left-hand side, these are all the different options that you have. I recommend that you do not have a ton of plugins because the more stuff you have on your website, the slower your website's going to respond. And as we've talked about, it's all about speed. So to install a brand new plugin, you're going to have to install a brand new theme. When you first get your website, you're going to have a very basic theme. And you can stay with that if you want, but I recommend upgrading to a premium theme. Go over to Appearance, go to Themes, and then you can click on Add New. When you click on Add New, you can import your theme by clicking Upload Theme. These are some of the different ones that I have. Some of these are templates, but you just click on Upload Theme, and then you've got to drag in your zip file, and then click Install, and it'll automatically import, and then you can make some changes. All right, so let's go from top to bottom while we are here. So this is the dashboard, what you were able to see when I first logged in. This just has basic information. You can add or subtract it. I usually don't even look at this. If we scroll down, updates, you want to make sure that your plugins and theme are up to date. Usually the updates are security related, so you want to make sure that you are keeping that up to date. These are the themes or the plugins that need to be updated. I can go ahead and just click update and it's going to do the work for you. After there's an update, you want to make sure that your website is still working. Sometimes the updates will break your website. So you just click on refresh here. And as long as it looks the exact same as before, as you can see, there is no problem. If we go back over here, SiteKit is for Google. If we click on that here, this isn't really required. This is just, some sort of tracking that I've got here. Now posts, these are where you're going to create your new blogs. Basically, WordPress has two types of pages. They have posts and they have pages. When you are trying to rank for SEO, you want to use blog posts. When you are writing like a review or you're pointing people to a different website, you might want to use a page. For example, I have pages for all of the different products that I have, sell, or give away. For example, if I click on business tools here, this is a page that I'm not really trying to rank for search engine optimization. So I have a list of products here. I'm not trying to rank, so it's not a big deal to me. But if I'm trying to rank, for example, I'm creating these blog posts to rank, so I'm creating different posts. If we scroll down here, copy protection, this isn't required, but I like having it because Some people, once they find your site, they're going to try and just copy and paste all the information here, and this doesn't allow them to do it. There's always ways to get around things, but it makes it at least a little bit difficult, little more difficult. Media is where you're going to store your media files. For example, your website really consists of pages, images, and video, and audio as well. So what you would need to do is you can upload new images through here. Just click on Add New, or you can upload them while you're writing your blog. Now, I recommend that you always compress your images. Make your images smaller because, again, the larger the image file, the slower your website's going to respond over time. If you upload one image on one blog post, it's not going to make that big of a difference. But let's say you get up 300 blog posts and all of your images are oversized or bloated, your website's going to respond really, really slow. So here are the pages that I mentioned a little bit earlier. These are the different pages, like a home page is a page, your privacy policy is a page, contact us is usually a page. These are different pages that you'd want to create. Comments, people from around the world can come and comment on your website. I would actually consider turning this off just because you're going to get a lot of people spamming their affiliate link and spamming comments and trying to really hack your site. If they know a little bit about WordPress and they knew a little bit about coding, they can try and do some damage. I would consider turning this off if possible. If we scroll down here, appearance is where you can really customize your website. I showed you how to import or install a new theme. Underneath that, you can actually make changes to the color. You can change like the widgets and stuff like that. I'll show you what a widget is in just a moment, but this is where you could really make significant changes. Like if I want to change the fonts that I use, the layout, all of this stuff can be configured right in the menu settings. Now, I recommend the best way to get used to it is just to play with it. The cool thing is you can't really hurt your website. You can make changes and then nothing will go into effect until you hit publish. So if you make a change, let's say we change this to, let's change the header to, let's see, we'll go header. Let's try orange. Let's try yellow. That would normally change the color here, but nothing is going to happen until I hit publish. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to back out of there. Let's see. Under widgets. Now widgets are, again, they're adding additional functionality. An example of a widget on my website would be, if I go to blog here, and these are different widgets. I have a space to add in widgets on the left side and the right side, right and left side, and then down at the bottom I can add different widgets as well. Again, they add different functionality. As you can see, these are the available widgets on the left hand side, things that you can add. Right here on this side are the actual places to add them. So if you look over here, you could add a widget for pages, recent posts, recent comments. You can add just about anything. Like if I wanted to have a YouTube video, a link to a YouTube video, I could add that somewhere, and then I would just click save if I really wanted to. Menus, you can have multiple menus. You can have a menu just for mobile. You can have a menu for your main menu, and then you can have a footer menu as well. You can create your own menus as customizable as you want. So for example, this is my menu here, and if we look, this is the menu. Now, the way that this is set up are different levels. These are all level 1 right here. When you indent like this is a level 2. Ideally, you don't want to go deeper than 2 or 3 levels. If you're going that deep, you might as well just make a new level 1 menu heading and then go from there. Generate press is for the theme that I'm using, and this is stuff that I can activate and deactivate. This will change based on the type of theme that you purchase. Elements, again, this is because I'm using Generate Press, which is very nice. It's a very lightweight theme. One thing that you want to do is you want to check your speed. So we'll go to, is it Google Sites? Google Sites? Google Page Speed. Google Page Speed. And obviously you want your page speed to be as close to 100 as possible. because it can have an effect on your ranking. So eventually, once I'm able to, I'm going to type in my website and we'll see how fast my website is. All right, it looks like we're back. So I'm just going to type in alstongodbolt.com. Now, I haven't done this ahead of time, so it could be very good, it could be very bad. Now, you're going to actually get two separate rankings, one ranking for desktop and one ranking for mobile. So be aware of that. And it looks like we're frozen again. All right, and it looks like we're back. I'm going to try and spell my name correctly this time. And so now it's doing a quick analyzation. While that's working, I'm going to jump back over here. And then theme editor, you want to make sure that you do not touch the theme editor at all. If you make any changes to the theme editor, it could break your website. There's a lot of stuff on here that if you don't have any coding background, you don't know anything about HTML or PHP, you can do real damage. So I recommend that you do not touch it at all. Changing this can have foundational changes on the way that your website looks, and it could break stuff. So I recommend don't even waste your time. Plugins. Let's go back over here. All right, so 60 is not very good. You'd want that up as high as possible. That's on mobile. There's some things that I can do to make this faster that I would need to look into. But if we go back over to desktop, it says I'm 93, which is very good. It's just that my mobile is very slow, and I would need to do some things to fix that, which I would have to do some other time. All right, so as I mentioned, plugins change or add functionality. As you can see, some of the things that I've added: ClickFunnels, which is the landing page or web page builder, the YouTube gallery, which allows you to embed videos, and so on. You can either add paid plugins, so premium plugins, or you can add free ones. To find free ones, you just click on Add New, and then just type in the type of plugin that you're looking for. For example, if I wanted to find a Coming Soon plugin, I just type in Coming Soon. And then as you can see, there are a bunch of them. I would always check a few things. One, make sure there were a ton of active installations. It has a ton of positive reviews, and make sure that it's compatible with your version. Sometimes they're not compatible, and that again can break your website. And also you want to make sure that it's being updated pretty frequently. So I'm just scrolling down to see if I can find one like this has been updated 5 months ago. You probably don't want to use this one just because it's been so long. Now, the only caveat to that is this ClickFunnels plugin hasn't been used in hasn't been updated in a long time. And so I use it, as you can see. Well, it was last updated 2 months ago. I don't see it. 5 years ago. 20,000 active installs. It was updated 5 years ago. It's untested with my current version. I'm using it right now. But they've stopped supporting it basically. And that can be a problem if someone finds a bug. Now, the one thing that you have to remember, and again, this is going to get kind of nerdy and I apologize in advance. As the internet changes and advances, hackers and scammers and spammers are able to find exploits that weren't there before. For example, think about it, 10 years ago, it used to take 3 seconds for a website to load, and so it could have been more secure. Now that it takes like 1/8 of a millisecond, you can find different exploits. That's a bad example, but you get the idea. So you want to try and make sure that you are finding WordPress websites that are compatible and that are being frequently updated, and they have a ton of positive reviews. So let's go down here. Users, you can add users. What I recommend that you do here, and I may need to change this. I'll block it out. What I recommend that you do is you have 2 users. You have an admin user, the one that comes with your account, and then you make a sub account, so another user that has less privileges, and then you use that one with the less privileges to create and upload blog posts, because in the event someone gets access to your administrator login information, they can do real damage to your site. They can steal your site essentially. So you want to make sure that you are not using that admin username and password at all, because the more you use it, the more opportunities there could be for potential problems. Tools. One of the tools that I use the most is this redirection. I have it set for separate, but I'm just going to include it right now. The cool thing with this plugin is it allows me to use my website like alstongodbolt.com/start. I can use that in different places, and it automatically redirects to my landing page. So Just to show you what I'm talking about here, I'm going to type in alstongodbold.com/start, hit enter. And if you look up here, it redirected to alstongodbold.com/ alstongodbold.click/legend main. It redirected there automatically, and most people are none the wiser. So it helps with branding, and you can do this for anything. The other thing that I've been doing too is I've been adding, because people are spelling TikTok wrong, I've been adding in different redirections based on that. So that gives you a ton of opportunity right there to help grow your business. Settings is pretty important, so we'll just run through that really quick. You don't want to mess with the web address. You can add in your site title and tag name. When you change your site title up here, right here, it'll change the site title up here where it says blog-Alston-Godbold. That correlates with this right here. When people are searching or learning about your website, they can see the tagline. Let's see. You want to make sure that you are adjusting to your time zone. You can change the time format any way you want, and then leave it at level 2 caching. On writing, you can sort by the default category. That makes it a little bit easier. I should change that to YouTube and see what happens. All of this you can just leave as is, then go down to reading. And then you want to make sure that you have either a static homepage or your latest post. When you have a static homepage, people will always come to this website when they go to alstongodbold.com. Now, if you want the latest blog post, you'll see a listing of your blog posts right here. That's really up to you what you want to do. And then you can change the number of blog pages and so on that appear. For example, if I go over to my blog, we'll click on blog right here. Right now you'll see 10 pages or 10 posts that appear. I can change that to 5 or 3 or whatever it is, whatever I want it to be. So click save. Oh, one other thing, search engine visibility. If you want to be discovered organically with SEO, make sure that this is unchecked. Do not check it. Leave it as is. Leave it blank so that search engines can crawl your site and find you organically. All right, so under discussion, leave all of this as is. And then really everything else is, it is what it is. You can just leave it as is. You'll want to do some trial and error when it comes to plugins. Again, you want to make sure that you're not using a ton of plugins because that's just going to slow down your site. As you can see with mine, my site's relatively slow, but I'm using a VPS with CDN, so that kind of makes up for it. The final thing that I want to talk about in this section are actually affiliate links and how many affiliate links you should include. When you're creating a blog post, you want to limit the number of links out So I'm going to talk about the affiliate links in the next section. All right, so I just want to take a moment to talk about affiliate links inside of your blog post. How many should you have? Should you include them at all? And what's the best way for you? Now, the answers to all of those, quite honestly, is going to be it depends. It depends on the length of your article. It depends on what you're linking to. Now, remember, Google goes through and analyzes every single page, and they're taking a look at worthiness, spamminess, and overall quality of your post. So if you have a bunch of affiliate links in an article, Google may see that it's just an ad and it's not quality for the user, because ultimately Google's job, just like YouTube, is to keep people on the platform. The longer people are on the platform, the more money that Google can potentially make. So you want to make sure that you are creating helpful content that will keep people on the platform. Ultimately, you want the same thing. You want to create content that keeps people on your website, and then Google will actually boost your content because you are keeping people on both platforms. So in general, I try not to do more than 5 affiliate links, but on those 5 affiliate links, I actually will send people to a landing page and I'm collecting their email address. In addition, those 5 affiliate links are usually on 3,000, 4,000 word blog posts. And so I'm not just putting a link every 3 or 4 paragraphs or so, 3 or 4 paragraphs or so. So in general, I would stick to less than 5 if you are writing a blog post that's less than 5,000 words, because again, you don't want to have a bunch. And just think about what you like to see. When you go on a blog or a website, do you like to see a bunch of links or do you like to see a few links? And again, it really all depends on the content. If you're writing like the 10 best basket weavers review type content, you're going to probably want to link out to all of the different baskets. So the short answer is it all depends, but just have as many as needed. Don't go overboard, don't go crazy, because that is a determining factor on the quality of the page and the quality of the site. All right, so I just want to take a moment to talk about affiliate links inside of your blog post. How many should you have? Should you include them at all? And what's the best way for you? Now, the answers to all of those, quite honestly, is going to be it depends. It depends on the length of your article. It depends on what you're linking to. Now, remember, Google goes through and analyzes every single page, and they're taking a look at worthiness, spamminess, and overall quality of your post. So if you have a bunch of affiliate links in an article, Google may see that it's just an ad and it's not quality for the user, because ultimately Google's job, just like YouTube, is to keep people on the platform. The longer people are on the platform, the more money that Google can potentially make. So you want to make sure that you are creating helpful content that will keep people on the platform. Ultimately, you want the same thing. You want to create content that keeps people on your website, and then Google will actually boost your content because you are keeping people on both platforms. So in general, I try not to do more than 5 affiliate links, but on those 5 affiliate links, I actually will send people to a landing page and I'm collecting their email address. In addition, those 5 affiliate links are usually on 3,000, 4,000 word blog posts. And so I'm not just putting a link every 3 or 4 paragraphs or so, 3 or 4 paragraphs or so. So in general, I would stick to less than 5 if you are writing a blog post that's less than 5,000 words, because again, you don't want to have a bunch. And just think about what you like to see. When you go on a blog or a website, do you like to see a bunch of links or do you like to see a few links? And again, it really all depends on the content. If you're writing like the 10 best basket weavers review type content, you're going to probably want to link out to all of the different baskets. So the short answer is it all depends, but just have as many as needed. Don't go overboard, don't go crazy, because that is a determining factor on the quality of the page and the quality of the site. Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm actually going to walk you through step by step how to start a blog with Bluehost. I'm going to go from absolutely nothing. If you have a domain name idea, you're going to run through that. You're going to actually go through, set up and install WordPress. We're going to go through the entire thing. Now, the cool thing with this process, it actually takes less than 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you 2 parts. One part where you're going to install everything with Bluehost, and then the second part is to configure a few settings. So make sure you watch this entire video. It may feel like it's going fast, but I don't speed it up at all. Watch this a few different times if you need to, but this is actually really cool. It's going to help you get up and running. So we'll see you on the other side. When you click that link, you'll be taken to this website where you'll go ahead and click Get Started. What I recommend is to click the first one on the far left, the basic plan, if you're just getting started with a website. As you can see, there are a number of options, but click that, click select, and then move on. Here you're going to create a domain name. If you have one in mind, you can type it in here like you see that I do. What I recommend is try and find a domain name that's going to be related to your niche. Now, what I do is I type in a domain name that I know is already taken. When it's taken, you're going to get this error. What you can then do is go back and try different domains. Now, make sure, again, you want to pick one that's related to your niche. Click Next, and then you're going to see a green box that says that it's approved. The next step is simply to go through and enter in your contact information. Make sure that when you scroll down here, make sure that you leave all of the settings on. But again, enter in your contact information. The settings right here where it says domain privacy, leave all of this checked. If you don't leave it checked, you're going to get people reaching out to you, spamming you, emailing you, trying to get you to sign up for web hosting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign up and then jump back to you once I sign on and move to the next step. All right, so I've signed up and I'm going to go ahead and set up my website initially. Just create a simple username and password, make sure it meets the requirements there, and then move on. Make sure that you write it down too. Write it down in a safe spot so that you have it and you remember it, because it can be a pain to go ahead and get everything back. You're going to have to enter in like some vital information, but just make sure that you write it down. It's really easy and really simple. Now, one thing that I do want to note is that this part is not sped up at all. This is actual real time, and you can see that you'll go from absolutely nothing to a complete website in less than probably 10 minutes. And once you click submit, you're going to move on to the next step where you get to log in. Here is where you're actually going to start creating your WordPress website. Now, the great thing is Bluehost really does everything for you, and it's really simple. So again, I'm not speeding this up at all, and I want you to see what it really takes to create a website. Bluehost is going to do a little bit of work in the background for you, and we're just going to actually click on skip this step. First one I clicked on start a blog, but for the next step, just click skip because we know what we're doing, and I'm actually going to tell you what to do so that we can get up and running. Click get started right here on the left hand side, and then move on. Just click skip here and click skip here. And then just pick the first one on the far left. Make sure that you're picking a free theme because they'll charge you. They have both free and premium themes, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So right now, it's actually creating your WordPress website. In just a few moments, you're going to click on log in to WordPress on the right-hand side there. You'll see it in just a second. And then we can actually start looking at some basic configurations. All right, so we click log in, and now we actually have a WordPress website. What may need to happen is you may need to click refresh a few times to get it to work, but now we have our website, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log in and delete a few plugins because right now it has the coming soon. And so if someone tried to get to your website at this moment, it's going to say coming soon to them, even though we can see it. This is what your WordPress website looks like, but for everyone else outside of your network, it's going to say coming soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to plugins eventually, and we're going to delete some of the plugins that we don't need. Now, I talk a little bit about plugins later on, but plugins add additional features and functionality. We are going to deactivate the Bluehost as well as the other plugins that are already activated, and then we can go through and make the necessary changes, which I'll cover in just a moment. So we're going to deactivate them and then delete them. Now you want to make sure that you only have the plugins that you're using on your website. The more plugins you have, the slower your website's going to respond and function, and you're going to lose out on ranking. So make sure you have a lean setup, very few plugins, and then move on. As you can see right now, I'm just simply deleting some stuff that you don't need. If you want to, you could keep them, but obviously if you're just getting started, you don't need this other stuff. What's more important is the themes that we're going to talk about in just a moment, as well as getting writing. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete those, deactivate them, and then we're actually going to start moving on to settings, which you see right here. All right, so now that we have Bluehost set up and WordPress installed, let's talk about some things that we need to change. First, you want to change your WordPress theme. As you can see here, I have theme. Theme is the way that your website looks and feels. This is a theme that has been installed on top of WordPress. Now, you do have a default theme that comes with it, but I recommend that you get a premium theme because a premium theme has more features included. And you can use a website like ThemeForest to find premium themes. So I'm just going to search ThemeForest here. We're going to click on it. And as you can see, there are tons of different themes that you could buy and install. Now, these are considered premium themes. You don't have to get a premium theme, but it's going to make your website look so much better. So what we could do is we could type in tech, and you're going to see there are a bunch of themes for the technology space. Again, you don't have to use these, but I like the way that these look. And again, they come with additional features. As you can see, you can get a premium theme for as little as $20 or as high as maybe $90. So what you'll do is you'll find a theme that you're interested in. You're going to add it to your cart. You're going to buy it. When you buy it, you're going to be able to download this theme to your computer. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to unzip that file that you get. And when you unzip the file, you're actually going to get another zip folder or a zip file that you're going to actually put into WordPress, which will actually change the way that your website looks. And to do that, we're going to simply go over to Appearance. We're going to go to Themes. We're going to click on Add New. And then we're going to click on Upload Theme. Now here, you can either drag and drop that theme that you just unpacked, so that second zip file, or you can click on Choose File and upload it from there, and then click on Install, and then click on Activate. Once you do that, you're going to have a different looking website than the original one that you saw in the previous section. So very important that you get a theme, and get a theme that you're comfortable with, that you don't mind looking at. So we've got the theme installed, which is right here. The next step is we need to make some important changes. Now, very important that you make these changes on your account, or else you're going to struggle to find success. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to Settings. We're going to click on General. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change our site title. Our site title is going to be keyword friendly or based on our niche. So we could say our site title is the Tech Laboratory. And the tagline could be your one-stop shop for all things tech related. And then we can go down and change the time zone to your current time zone. Click on Save Changes. The next thing that we want to do, go down to writing. We're comfortable with everything in writing. We do want to go to reading. Reading is going to be important. You want to make sure that your reading settings is set to your latest post. And then you also want to go down and make sure that this is unchecked. So where it says search engine visibility, leave it unchecked. If you check this box, you will not be discovered by Google or Bing or Yahoo, and you will struggle to find visitors. So make sure you leave it unchecked. Click on Save. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go over to permalinks. And here is another very important thing that you want to do. Right now, your links are set to plain. We want to change those to post name. And the reason being, this is going to help us get discovered by Google. This is going to help us with search engine optimization. And what happens is, when you create a post, the title of your post is actually going to show up right here. So for example, if we were creating content about the division, my website would be webhostingrewind.com/the division 2 tips and tricks. Now, we want that to be there just like that because people are searching division 2 tips and tricks, and we want to get discovered via organic. And if we go over to The Verge, you're going to see they should be doing the exact same thing. This should all be based on search intent or what your customers are searching. So if we look at this, it says Samsung Fold Flip, Future Galaxy S Past. They didn't do a great job, but they're large enough where it doesn't really matter. Smaller websites, you do need to make sure that you have your configuration at post name. So what we're going to do next is make sure that we jump back over and click Save all the way down here, and then we can start writing. So when we start writing, go to Posts and go to All Posts, and then click on Add New. This is where you're going to create brand new content. Hello and welcome back. Today I want to show you how to get traffic with blogging. Now, I call blogging the old faithful. It's been around for a number of years. It can be a little difficult to start getting leads and sales with blogging. It can take a little bit of time to get out of the Google sandbox, but there are some opportunities. And I'm actually going to use a tool called Ahrefs. You don't have to use it. You don't have to get it at all. But I'm going to use this tool to illustrate how there is some opportunities still. Another way that you can get leads and sales using blogging is just simply going over to Google and doing what's called alphabet soup. What you'd want to do is you'd want to take a keyword or keyword phrase. For example, let's say how to start a website. And then you just go through each letter of the alphabet and record what you find. If there is something out there that you think could be a good idea to write about, you're simply going to write down that keyword or keyword phrase, and then you're going to come back later and you're going to write content. Now, the good thing with blogging is you can either write the content yourself or you can hire someone to write it for you, but the writing portion is a different story for a different day. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use Ahrefs. Now, again, this is just a tool. There are tons of search engine optimization tools, tons of tools out there that you can use, but I just want to illustrate what's out there for you. What we're going to do is we're going to jump over to Keywords Explorer. And when we use Keywords Explorer, we can type in a keyword phrase. We could say like how to create. We could put a comment there and type in website. We could type in blogging. We could type in blog. We can type in blogging. We can type in anything that has to do with needing or starting a website. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to click search here. And it's going to come back with a ton of search results. And it's really going to be, to be honest with you, you can see the keyword difficulty, the KD right there. It means it's really hard, 98 in fact, 97, 86, 81. What we can do is we can go over to phrase match. And this is going to give us a list over millions of keywords where people are searching and looking for a result. If we look here, it says Powerline blog, that's 20. That's probably not a good idea for us. If we're a brand new blog or website, we can go to the keyword difficulty score and we can change this to 20, we'll say, and click apply. And this is going to return all of the search results that have a keyword difficulty score of 20 or less. Now, if we are a brand new website or blog, this could be an opportunity for us. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to look through here and see if there's any opportunity. Now, 20 is probably going to still be really competitive. We can change this down to 10 and see if there's something else that jumps out at us. that can give us more opportunity. Another thing that we could do is we could try long tail keywords, keyword phrases that have 5 or 6 or even 7 words in them, and that could give us a better opportunity. So as you can see here, Costco employee website, not necessarily exactly what we're looking for. Which domain will redirect you to the Amazon website? That could be pretty interesting. If you see something on here, you definitely want to copy it and paste it right into Google to see what the results are, because it can be a good opportunity. What we can do also is we can jump over to questions. This is going to give us a list of questions people are asking, and that can give us some opportunity potentially there as well. So we've typed in questions. Keyword difficulty is really difficult, but as you can see, it says how to cite a website, how to start a blog. Let us change the keyword difficulty to, let's say, 10 or more. We're going to click apply. Now, the one thing that we're not really worried about necessarily right now is the volume. The reason being is when you create a blog post, you can actually rank for many different words. And so while this is going to give us inspiration, this isn't necessarily going to be our final stop. So which blog will redirect you to the Amazon website, how to create a folder on Mac, which feature is required to track customer search terms on a website. None of these really seem to be on the mark, but as you can see, the keyword difficulty is not too difficult where we couldn't write something and start getting traffic. How to stop adverts from blocking a website, which report indicates the last page users. So as you can see, not really relevant. What we could do here is we can go back over to Google and we could say, how to start a website, hit enter. And then if we scroll down here, we're going to have some opportunities. What we can do is we can take a look at people also ask, because these are questions that are similar to our query that may not have the best answers. How much does it cost to start a website? As you can see here, it looks like someone has created that content, but we'd want to take a look and make sure that that is on point and relevant to the discussion. The other cool thing with people also ask is we can keep hitting these drop downs, and it's going to keep feeding us more results until we find something that is going to be relevant to us. Another thing that we can do is we can scroll down here to the bottom, and there are additional questions that we can take a look at as well. How to create a website for free of cost, how to start a website for a business. That could be pretty interesting. We could jump back over here and we could say how to start a website. Hit enter and we can see the results. All right, so as you can see, keyword difficulty, it can be pretty difficult. We're going to change the keyword difficulty to, let's say, 20 again. Hit enter. And as you can see, there's still some opportunity. How to start a photography website, how to start a dating website, how to start a crowdfunding website. And the reason why you want to create content on these questions is because the first step is they need a website. They need a web hosting. And you're going to say, here's a simple 5-step process to create your first, start your first directory website. Step 1, get web hosting with Bluehost. Step 2, install WordPress. Step 3, find a directory WordPress theme. Step 4, or optional step, find a plugin that does it. Simple 5-step process. And if we look at this, how much does it cost? Dating, news, directory. If we copy this, we can see this will give us an idea of how difficult it may be to create this type of content. Let's see, how to start your own local business directory website. So if we click on this, as you can see, actually these guys are missing out on an opportunity. What I would do is I would have step 1, and this blog is really short. I would say step 1, you need web hosting, and then explain exactly what web hosting is. Web hosting is required in some form or fashion in order to have your website on the internet. This website is only 918, or this web page is only 918 words. You could write a 5,000 word article. Let's compare that to how to start a website. All right, so we hit how to start a website. The top result here, let's see, creating a website, business, doesn't look to be terribly long as well, but it can be a very good opportunity. Register your domain name. These guys are missing out on an opportunity as well. But this is a government website, so they don't know any better. How to make a website in 2021, step-by-step beginner's guide. If we look at this is from websitesetup.org. We scroll down here. Choose your website platform. And what do you mean by platform? And then it looks like they may have some links in here. Popular website platforms. Let's check and look and see how many words this one is. We're just going to scroll down. Now, words don't give us a great indication of how quality, how well the blog post is written, but you can get an idea in general. So if we scroll all the way down here and I right click and I look at the word count, this one is 3,518 words compared to this one where it's less than 1,000. So Keyword Explorer, this is a good opportunity. If we look at this, how to pin a website to start, how to start a marketplace website, this is probably the same thing. The keyword difficulty for this one is only 16. If we jump back over here, paste this in, and let's see, the beginner's guide to starting an online marketplace. If we click this first one, it looks like this one has a ton of words on it. Also, the text is kind of condensed a little bit. But again, this doesn't necessarily tell us that this is written very well. It just tells us that they have put a lot of words in the paper. So this is a 10,000 word blog post. I bet you one of the first steps is to get web hosting. As you can see here, look at this. They're talking about the business model. They probably have somewhere, if they were smart, they would have web hosting somewhere sprinkled in. And that would be a very good idea. But as you can see, there are still cracks where you can create content and start getting leads and sales. How to start a sports betting website. Let's change this keyword difficulty to 10 and see what happens there. We change it to 10. It's going to give us only 15 keywords. How to start a local news website. How to start a website like Craigslist. These are all opportunities where you can create content. And while I have you, and while we're talking about blogs and websites, one easy thing that you can do, and I'm just going to jump over to my website, alstongodbolt.com, is you can create a blog post on anything, and then you could just slap your banner ad that Bluehost gives you. You can put it right here. Do you see right here where I have, this will be this is an opt-in form. Instead of having the opt-in form, you could have a link right here at the top, a banner ad, place it right into your blog or website. People click on this and they join Bluehost and you get paid a commission. All of these on the right hand side are actually products that I've made and sold. But as you can see, there's tons of opportunity. There's tons of opportunity if you're willing to do the research. Now, if you just went on the internet and you typed in how to start a blog, you're going to find a lot of competition. But as you can see here, we niche down just a little bit, and we basically we have 15 opportunities already. If we change this to 15, so the keyword difficulty is going to be a little bit harder. It takes us from 15 opportunities to 22. So we could write blog, how to start a photography website. And what you'd have to do is you just have to do a little bit of research, spend a little bit of time. And step one, get web hosting would be step one for all of mine. And I would say, let's choose a website builder, set clear goals. I would say, and I think these guys are all missing opportunities. I would say step one, get a domain name and get web hosting. And as you can see here, they talk about Squarespace, Wix. They probably have an affiliate link for all of these. But this is an opportunity. Another thing that you can do is you can niche down even more. You can niche down. So we're going to go back up to the Keywords Explorer, and we could do, let's search something like church. We're going to search church, and you can do this for any niche, super hard as you can see. We're going to go over to phrase match, and then we are going to include, so the keyword has to include is what we're about to do as soon as my computer comes back to me. We're going to click on include, and we could do something like website, or we could do blog. And I'm just going to change this to any keyword. I'm going to put an asterisk here as well, asterisk there as well, and we're going to click apply. So right now there are over almost 6 million keywords that come back that have church in them. And so basically what we're looking for is how to start a church website, how to start a church blog. As you can see here, church blogs. We could even go to questions and see if people are asking questions. Um, 321,000 keywords. What does it take me to church about? What does it take me to church about? How to start Catholic church? What we can do is we can go back up here, go to website again, put an asterisk, blog again, put an asterisk. So it's going to find things like blogging, blogger, click apply. How to build a church website. That's only a keyword difficulty of 26. How to create a church website, 23. What every church website needs. So they're close to creating a website, but they just want to make sure they have everything. So if we search this, paste that in. If we go to the churchthemes.com, this is a premium WordPress theme. If we scroll down here, ooh, this one's really short. We can go up and let's see. This one only has 1,175 words. So if you wanted to, you can give them 20 things that church must have. I would include Bluehost or web hosting. I would include premium themes or something like a calendar, and that's all different affiliate opportunities. But you can see there's opportunity there. If you niche down, you're going to be able to grow further, faster, farther. How to make a church website, 24 keyword difficulty. Probably a lot of people writing about it. If we copy this, go over here, paste that in. All right, so buildfire.com, we're going to click on this one. And 11-step checklist for building and promoting your church website. If we scroll down here, select your website platform, WordPress, Squarespace. I wonder if we click on WordPress, that takes us to wordpress.org. Then let's see here, select your church website domain, set up hosting for your site. There you go. And GoDaddy is one of the affiliate programs that you could become an affiliate for. They recommend GoDaddy, but that could be Bluehost. If we scroll all the way up and I just want to see the number of words. Now again, number of words doesn't necessarily indicate that it is a quality blog post. It just means that they've spent some time writing it or hired someone to write it. So if we, let's see, it is about, okay, almost 4,000 words. So it's a good blog post. But another thing that you can do is you can copy this here. And again, Ahrefs isn't required. It's just helpful. We can go over to Site Explorer. And then we can paste in, oops, we're just going to delete all of this. And we can see exactly what they're ranking for, which could give us an idea of some keywords that we could go after. As you can see, the domain authority, let's organic traffic. We could take a look at this. Let's take a look at the organic keywords that they are ranking for. Let's see, we're going to sort by position. All of these are things that they're ranking for, and this could be an opportunity for us to create content. Look at this. They are ranking for app maker website, how to measure phone screen, all sorts of things, how to start a promotion business. Step 1, get a website. it's right there. If you are if you're thinking a little bit outside the box, business marketing strategies, have a website with relevant content. That could be a good opportunity. So I'm just going to click on this, marketing strategies for small business. Let's see. There's no magic marketing strategy. Facebook advertising, Google My Business, Google AdWords, content marketing. So that would be an opportunity to add in your affiliate link to Bluehost, organic search, social media, coupon deals, email marketing, webinars, promotion, promote a free consultation. But you could put in your affiliate links here as well. And then also you could have them on the side. So as you can see, blogging is not dead. There is still plenty of opportunity. You just have to know what you're doing. Think about it. And don't think about it head on. Don't think about creating a website or creating a blog. You want to think about individual niches. So photographers, churches, artists, freelancers, musicians, they all need websites too. And if you can create a website where you're focusing on them, you are talking to the individual artist. You're not just saying, hey, you guy. You're talking to the painter, the candlestick maker, you can start getting leads and sales. So hopefully this helped you out. Next, I want to talk about Facebook groups and the opportunity that is right there. All right, so should you blog in 2021? Here's a compelling reason of why you shouldn't blog. This is my oldest website. I haven't done a YouTube video on this website in almost a year, I think. And it's not for any reason. It's just I, stopped creating that type of content. But what I want to show you is the evolution of my largest website. I created this website September 7th of 2018. And let me just show you. I started off and I was getting very little traffic. Most of this is just me clicking on my links to excited about me creating content. Right now I have probably somewhere around 100. I have 100 blog posts, give or take 2 or 3. But in the very beginning, very, very little traffic. And then as you can see, it starts to pick up. And then January 2020, I should say, 1,000 visitors per month. And then it keeps going. And then it shoots up in November of 2020. But then Google slaps the website. And then I go from 33,000 page views per month or 33,000 users all the way down to 11,000. So think about that. If let's say I was making like $2 per 1,000 views, we'll say that's just, a random number. If I made 32, that would put me at about like $60,000, we'll say. My math is probably off, but let's assume that this blog was making me $60,000. Overnight, in the span of a couple minutes, Google slaps my website down and I go from making, let's say, $60,000 all the way down to 6. Now, I can assure you that this website was not making $60,000, but I'm just saying this would be a compelling reason to not, because you're always at the mercy of the Google update, the Google algorithm update. And on a whim, they can decide that your website's no longer worthy of getting traffic. You can also run into people that are just stealing your content. One of my earlier videos, I showed you I had that copyright protection thing to make it more difficult. But in reality, if someone wanted to steal my content, they could just go to Inspect Element and copy everything and do it that way. So yeah, if that's primarily why you don't see a lot of people showing their websites on Google, just because there are people out there that see work being done and they're just going to steal the work. Some good things about this site, if I go to overview, this site gets all organic traffic now. In the very beginning, it was direct and social, but now it's all organic from Google. And that's what you want to see. But when I logged in here, I logged in back in November, December, and I saw the slap here where my content was cut by a third, because that's what it is. Going from 30 down to 11 or 10, that's a third, or 2/3 of my traffic was just gone. Google still sends a bulk of the traffic, followed by Bing, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo. But you can imagine how incredibly difficult it is to deal with something like this, where you work incredibly hard to get your website up and running and get it to the point where it's actually successful. Getting 1,000 people, getting 3,000 people on your website is a incredible milestone, and then just for it to be taken away from you literally overnight. And it's just blog content that I created. Let's see. On a whim, Google decided that I was no longer worthy of the traffic, and so they stopped. So if you're thinking about blogging, this would be a compelling reason not to blog. And I'm trying to find, I haven't looked in here in a long time, but I'm trying to find the actual page views, per month, because that would give you a good indication of the type of traffic. This talks about source and medium. I just showed you that. But really, I'd really want to show you the page views so that you can get an idea of literally how much traffic this website lost. So that would be fun. That would be fun to look at. So again, if you were making decent money with this website, it would be literally cut in half, cut by 2/3 on a whim. So if that's something that scares you, I would potentially stay away from vlogging, just because I haven't looked into it more than just looking at the analytics. But when you log in and you see that your website was just literally cut in half, cut by 2/3, it makes you incredibly, incredibly frustrated and annoyed that this could happen. Because really, what changed from December 30th to, or excuse me, what changed from November 30th to December 2nd, where my website was no longer valid. So if you are on the fence about blogging, this will probably sway you one way or the other. If you like a fight, if you like, if you're competitive in nature, then this might be for you. So there you have it. Let me know if you have any questions.